Hey, so many tournaments going on right now. This one is on the 24th, and wasn't it on the 24th? Let me just check for a sec. It's Gary from Black Dragon Enterprises who is running it at his game store. It's the 1st of March, and it's on the 24th that they've got the list deadline. And it's a really interesting pack. And one thing that Gary notes is it does seem like Alessio himself will be playing in this tournament. So let's go and view the pack, because today I'm sort of talking about the pack, and then I've made a list. If I was going, I'm not, but if I was going, what would I build? So that's what we're doing today. Here we go. So the event is called Invasion of Europe. It's a 1253 game event. Um, Draw forces from any faction readily available, V3 rules, and any updates. FAQ and errata released prior to the list deadline of the 24th February. So, I have a month or more to get my shit in order. Almost two. Right. 1250 points maximum. Not a point over. It's a lot of points, especially because they're running 12 order dice. Look at that. 12 order dice, one faction only. So yeah, you can only bring one nation. That's pretty normal. Normal force construction is to be obeyed from the V3 rulebook. With 12 order dice, I don't think we'll see many lists that have 3 or 4 platoons. I don't think that will be a thing. But we shall see, because I will actually hopefully get the lists and do a little bit of meta. What happens if you put the order dice cap this low? It sort of fits in with what everyone was saying back in V1, I think, where it's like 100 points per order dice. That doesn't work, by the way, but it's definitely weaker than if you use more order dice per 100 points. List submitted using the Easy Army or the Warlord app, or the Second Command app. Please do not take these apps as gospel, so check your list. And it's the player's responsibility to check the lists. I always think that there should be a list checker, because people make mistakes. Honest mistakes, but they do make mistakes, right? It happens all the time. Although I think we've seen fewer mistakes in lists submitted in V3 than we used to do. So the list is sent in to first and only yahoo.co.uk. The timetable is start up at around 9:30. You have a little bit of meet and greet first, and then game 1 starts 9:45. Okay. The game will be announced on the day. I do hope that Gary rolls the missions beforehand, because some of the rulebook missions don't really go together. So you're going to have to do a little bit of common sense on the missions. Lunch, 45 minutes for lunch. That seems perfectly valid. And then I like it that they set up that they have a quarter of an hour where you can actually set up your game. You know who you're playing. You know the table. You can go and you can set up. You can even deploy. It's only when the game starts that you have to start the game. But notice one thing here: the game rounds are 2 hours. That is going to be very. It's a lot easier though when you're playing with only 12 order dice. But if this was a full 1250 event, no order dice cap, that would not be enough time. Definitely wouldn't. And then awards by Warlord Games and Black Dragon Miniatures. I like it. Seems a sensible sort of day here. It's very yeah. You need to someone needs to keep time here, right? Because you don't have quite a lot of time to spend or to spare. A win is 10 tournament points, a draw is 5, and a loss is 1. So always fight for that draw, right? Because that's quite a lot more than a loss. Attrition bonus points, though. Every 2 enemy dice killed, you get an attrition point. Ooh, that for some people would easily stack up very quickly just by killing. And I mean, I've been in games where easily there was 10, 12, 14 order dice killed to one side, and that of course won't happen here because of the low count. But it still means that if you sort of kill 5, 6 dice each turn, that will be 3 points. It's almost a draw. Even if you lose, that's almost into draw territory. At the same time, you get a hobby score. So if you have unpainted minis, and this is basically to encourage people to paint their stuff, right? Unpainted minis, that's 0 points. 50%, 1 point. 75%, 2 points. 100%, 3 points. Always bring painted minis, right? This includes a minimum of 3 paints and basing. But notably here, notice, it doesn't include you being good at painting, right? You don't need to be a master painter. You don't need to win Golden Demon awards to attend and get the full hobby score. Maximum points available for the tournament would be 51 points, 3 wins, 12 dice per game, and fully painted. I doubt anyone will get anywhere close to 51 points. So yeah, Black Dragon miniatures. And let's go and see what I am thinking of building for this. And I think I have it here. I have it here. So this would be my army for Invasion of Europe. 12 order dice. 12.49. I could not find a way to spend the final points. I'm sorry. It's Soviets. I'm bringing my Soviets. I'm bringing an inexperienced commander with an extra dude. These are just there to boost morale on other stuff. Because I am bringing all the stuff that is unkillable. I have to spend quite a lot of points in order to keep my order dice count down to 12. I have to buy stuff that's really expensive, but at the same time also want it to be really, really survivable, right? I don't want my dudes to get killed and hand over kill points, tournament points even, to my enemy. So I am bringing scout squads, a 7-man scout squad with submachine guns. These are going to be key. They can infiltrate up on the board, be on objectives if I need that. And on those objectives, because they're veteran, they've got infiltrator, they can go down. I am very unlikely to get killed off of that objective unless the enemy has something that really can mess up my day. Like HE, indirect fire. But it does need to be indirect, because even direct fire, I could easily get a 2+ cover save, right? Tank riders, these will all be with body armor. So again, I'm boosting my survivability up to a 6. Yes, they're not going to be able to reach out and kill stuff, but they are so indestructible, and they are large units. So 11 in one, 9 in the other. These units are practically indestructible. I just need something to push them up onto objectives, and then they can sit there and they will never get killed. On top of that, I do bring a few of my teams, my go-to teams. I bring an anti-tank rifle. I bring a couple of dog mine teams, just because dog mines, I am expecting my enemy to bring heavy tanks. And those dog mines can still pin a heavy tank, right? Maybe even kill it, damage it if it's a 9, 10+. A light mortar, just to have that indirect fire capability. If someone brings a heavy howitzer, my light mortar will sit somewhere and just plink at it every single turn. And he's very unlikely to shoot at me with a heavy howitzer. If he does, I'll go down. And then comes what I am bringing to kill stuff. I am bringing in armored platoon. This is my second platoon. and I am bringing the most Death Starry thing that I could find, which is an OT-34/85. So it's the upgraded heavy anti-tank gun, which will definitely hurt a few tanks, right? A heavy anti-tank gun is a +6, so I can even penetrate those Panthers out there. I can damage most things that the enemy could think of bringing. And at the same time, I'm running a flamethrower. The flamethrower, yes, only has 12-inch range, but it does mean that I could potentially shoot at 2 vehicles at the same time, 2 heavy tanks. And yeah, the flamethrower might not kill the tank that it's shooting at, but it will deliver a lot of pins, and it will mean that he has to take a morale test to run away. So that's why I'm doing that. I'm making this my command vehicle. Ideally, I would want it to be also veteran, just so that I could ignore most pins, but I couldn't find the points. I still want to use all of the other bits that I have in this army here. And then 3 T60 tanks. Love my T60s. The light autocannon, HE1, really useful. Can even start potentially try to dig out some of those enemy scouts sitting on objectives. Or it can just, deliver the pins if my opponent doesn't bring veteran vehicles. I will just shoot at that vehicle with HE, deliver D2 pins, and try and pin his heavy vehicles down until my T-34 can take care of them. That would be my army. 12 order dice, a Death Star army, and very, very chunky infantry units. So Death Stars all around. It's what you need to do at 12 order dice, 1250, I think. So, good luck to everyone going. I do hope Alessio turns up and maybe learns something about tournament play. Oh! Yeah, that's it from me today. I will get back to you once the lists are in and we can do a little bit of meta-analysis. Cheers.